All right, good day, everyone. With me again for our USA Volleyball Women's National Team update. The VNL edition got outside hitters Kelsey Robinson and Jordan Larson joining me from Rimini, Italy, after stage three or week three of a VNL play. How's it going, ladies?
Good. Going.
Hey, a lot of big news items came out this week for USA Volleyball and particularly the Olympics. Karch and his coaching staff announced the 12-member roster, of which I'm excited to announce that you two are back on. So congratulations. But I wanted to ask you both questions in regards to the roster he's named. And, just so you know, I've been asked to ask the questions in these particular fashions because I guess certain other people who are overseeing and watching said, "Hey, why don't you ask Jordan, being the old lady on the team, how it's like making
Yeah.
her third Olympic roster?" You've got
Yeah. Yeah. When I first saw the press release, I was like, did they really need to mention the decade difference? But my younger players on the team have been saying, you say that with pride, like you're the oldest one here, and yeah. So it's humbling, but also exciting all at the same time. And I don't know. I feel still very much like it's my first time, and I don't know, it just all seems so surreal that like we're trying to go at it again here. So it's yeah, it's fun. And but yeah, definitely feel a little bit older, that's for sure.
well, you do have a partner in crime in the old lady naming is Faluka. Now,
Yeah.
are you older than her? She older than you?
Yeah, technically I'm like almost a whole year older than she is, so same birth month, but I'm a whole year older. But she's probably smarter, so don't tell her that.
But you got to just say, "I look good." That's all you got to remember when you get older. Just say, "I look
Yeah,
good now."
exactly. I got the looks, you got the smarts. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, and Kelsey, for you, it's your second Olympic roster with a teammate Kim Hill. What are your thoughts on jumping back onto that Olympic roster?
Yeah, I'm obviously really excited to be fortunate enough to go for another Olympics and to be named to the roster. I think for me, there's just a lot of work done to be done and a lot of preparation still. So I'm just looking forward to these next few weeks of training and really getting after it and seeing the potential of this group.
Yeah. Now, some had asked, like, so what position would you be going in on? We know you obviously are an outside hitter, but you played libero in the previous Olympics. But are you pretty specific this go around, or are you ready to be used as needed again?
I mean, in the last Olympics, I was an outside hitter. So I'm still an outside hitter, but I think the thing that I do well in reception and ball control, if anything were to happen, because you do only have one libero at the Olympics, I think it would be a role that I could fill in, which it always helps to be versatile.
Right. Now, both of you, being that you're the elder statespeople of the crew, you've got 8 newcomers on your roster, and wanted to get your thoughts on the team that has been named to that roster. And we'll start with you, Kelsey. Just a few that come to mind. You don't have to nail everyone. We know that there's a lot of people to talk about, but just names that come to mind. Oh, I stumped you.
Sorry, I couldn't hear the question.
Oh,
It like
just
kind of went.
your thoughts on the newcomers that have been named to the roster, the first timers, and just your thoughts on some of the personnel that's now on the team with you.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. In the last Olympics, I think I was one of the youngest ones, and then Karsta after me. But we had a pretty experienced team, a lot of veterans coming back, and then this time around, it's been a lot of young players getting opportunities, and it's exciting to see how talented our girls are. And I'm just obviously I'm looking forward to this summer, but to see their careers, beyond this year, I think it's cool to see the depth.
How about you, Jordan? Your thoughts on the newcomers?
Yeah, no, I think like she said, it's cool to see the depth that we have. And but if you were to ask me, the average age of those 8 newcomers in, like even though there are some younger girls, age 23, 24, like their maturity level and their volleyball IQ is extremely high. And so, and obviously very valuable to like our success. And so up to this point, and I think continued success down the road. And so while they may be youthful and it's their first time, like I think in general, they hold themselves like to a high standard. They operate, you know, at a high level, and just their volleyball IQ overall is really good. So it's a really fun team to be a part of. We've really worked hard, like culturally, and kind of how do we bridge the gap between age 34 and age 23, and you know, because we're in very different facets of life, and so how do we all coexist and function all together? So it's been really, really cool to see how this team has really blossomed and taken the pandemic and really used it to our advantage.
The volley nerd in me has to ask, is there still a wow factor with the younger girls? Like, oh my gosh, I looked up to you, Kelsey. Oh, Jordan, I was so watching you all the time. Do you still get that? You don't have to name them, but
I mean, I'm not that much older than that, so I would say the wow factor would be more towards Jordan.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I don't know how much like, you know, I think people are into volleyball, obviously, but I think there's a lot more now. Athletes are doing a lot more outside of the sport, and so I think we're seeing that more than maybe, you know, solely focused on volleyball, which I think is a good thing. I think it's good to have balance and kind of having that range.
Yeah.
As
Well,
well.
I think just being around you guys at the VNLs and when they were hosting the US and the USA Volleyball Cups and all the international competitions, I could see you guys at your autograph sessions. All these girls are like, "Oh my gosh, it's Kelsey! Oh, it's Jordan!" And you know, you're aspiring all this younger generation to continue to push harder and reach higher and get better in the game. So, you know, with some of the younger girls being 23, I think is the youngest right now on your
Yep.
roster. I imagine there's some of that cross pollination from years in past because been doing it since 2008. Been following you guys even longer than that, and I've seen the crowds following you. So
Yeah, seriously.
now let's jump over to VNL, which is what we were supposed to be talking about. But again, exciting news. Gosh, USA is 9-0, and only dropped 2 total sets. What are your guys' thoughts on what's happening in the competition and how your team is, even in the midst of multiple and diverse lineups, how you guys are playing? And we'll start with you, Jordan.
Yeah, I think just these first 9 games, and I think throughout this whole process, we're just really focusing on our side. I think ultimately we can't control who the other teams are bringing, and you know, but we have goals on our side and what we're trying to do. So a lot of the focus has been on us and what can we do on our side to still execute at a really high level. And I think we're going to see now kind of this latter half, like the game's starting to get progressively harder and just a little bit better competition than maybe we've faced so far. So it's going to be really fun to see, you know, how that's going to kind of push us outside of our comfort zone.
Yep. How about you, Kelsey? Thoughts?
I think I'm just most excited to see how we, you know, build that rhythm. I think it's important to have. Oh, sorry, no, I think he just was asking if you had any thoughts. Oh, okay. This is unstable. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I got you. You just were a little broken up on like probably the last like 5 seconds. Oh, do we drop again? I
Okay.
still have video, no audio. There you go. You're back in movement.
Nope. Okay.
There.
I think we're okay.
Now we're on.
I just think the next.
Good.
I think the next few games it'll be fun to see us build that rhythm, like moving on into the summer that we'll need. And I think even maybe teams aren't sending their full rosters and stuff like that, but it still pushes us to find answers and to find solutions to, you know, players maybe we've never seen before. You know, with teams that we've played in the past, we kind of have a scouting report and we know from overseas like what these players do, but this is a fun experience where we're forced to find solutions to players we've never seen.
Yeah. Now, this last week, stage 3 or week 3 of pool play, we saw some pretty huge upsets. I mean, China is coming off of 3 losses. I mean, if you look at stage 2 or week 2, I mean, after losing to Canada, then to Belgium, and then Turkey, you know, Turkey being upset by Dominican Republic. What are your guys' thoughts on the teams making, I guess it's the semifinals round, it's a dropout round. They have a terminology for it. I can't remember what it was, but we'll start with you, Jordan. They get it?
Sorry, it was breaking up a little bit. Say it again.
So with the upsets, particularly of China starting in week 2 to Canada, and then again they were upset by Belgium and Turkey, and then Turkey was upset by Dominican Republic. What are your thoughts on the potential teams to make the dropout round or the semifinal round?
Yeah, I think it can be anybody at this point. I think Turkey's sitting right behind us, if I am not mistaken. But yeah, it's hard to know, and I think there's still like how many games do we have? Six strong matches left that can really determine a lot of those spots. And so yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, because I know Belgium's been playing really well. Obviously Turkey, China, Poland, we still have quite a few tough matches to go.
Yeah. How about you, Kelsey? Thoughts on the teams making the semifinals?
I think for us, all that I've been focused on and all that we've been focused on is our side of the court, and getting better in what we do well and the things that we're not doing well in those parts of the game. So I obviously hope for really great competition no matter what, and hopefully we'll get some strong matches, semifinals and finals.
Yep. Next question for you is this, and again, you have a young roster there, and you've cleared this halfway point. Olympics are 45 days out. What are your thoughts on how the youth could respond on your side of the net with you guys as the veterans? And we'll start with you, Kelsey.
I think the biggest key to playing in big moments and high pressure situations is just having patience. Not getting caught up in what's going wrong, but having patience to find the solutions. And I think that's something our experienced players who continue to play in high level moments in club and in the past seasons with national team really bring to this team, just being able to guide that and lead that in big moments.
Yeah. And you, Jordan, thoughts?
Yeah, along those same lines. Yeah, patience, and I think just consistency, like being able to be good for a long period of time. It's playing 3 matches back to back. I think the one cool thing about the Olympic Games is the schedule. You kind of have one on, one off. Like it's a nice cadence and rhythm. So just kind of prepping for that, but ultimately still having the conversations as we're going. Like, hey, yeah, we're prepping for the Olympics. It's really no different than what we're doing right now, right? Same court, same ball, same opponents. It's just called the Olympic Games. And so just kind of keeping that in the back of our mind and just having those conversations as we go. And but with that comes patience and control what we can, and that's what we do on our side.
Yeah. Now this last stage 3 this weekend, I mean, it's amazing looking at the USA stats because there have been different leading scorers in each of those matches. I mean, Kelsey led in one, Jordan, you in the third one. You had, I believe it was Haley in the second one. You look at Diggs, your offensive production, your efficiency, you're hitting close to, and my math may be a little off, but it's right around 400 as a team. And you guys are doing great things versus, I know you said you're not paying attention to what other teams are doing, but there's usually only like one standout on that team, a leading scorer. What do you guys think of the USA team being so, I guess, with a talent being spread out and it looking like a team effort? We'll start with you, Kelsey.
Well, I think with the way that USA Volleyball plays and our system, we are looking for players who can do everything, right? We have 12, 14, 18 players on a roster that can do every part of the game. And that's really special and unique. I don't think you see that, everywhere. And so I think something that's really difficult to defend is when you have 4 attackers coming at you at like every moment. So we make sure that we're on our routes, that every single player is an option in attack and in the offense, and then just being really great in the ball control area of the game. And so I think it's a different way to play volleyball, but I think it's very difficult to defend.
Yep. And Jordan, anything to add there?
I think she said it. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we try to look at expectations of like what we want and how we want to operate, right? Especially these first 9 matches. But I think that's the expectation that I had for us, is like we should be crushing it at this point. And I think the stats are showing that. And so, but like she said, it's because everybody's involved and everybody's doing everything. But I also equate that to like culture and the conversations that we're having, and like the selflessness that's happening on the court as well, like covering each other and, you know, helping each other be successful in their own right. I think also plays a role in that as well.
Yeah. Now, week 4, you have a few big matchups. You have the Olympic host Japan, you've got Belgium, and then a few of your teammates in Turkey, since I know that you had plays in Turkey in recent years as well. So thoughts on the upcoming matchups this next stage? And we'll start with you, Jordan.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I think as we get going here, it's gonna only increase and get better, and it's gonna be fun to play Turkey. I don't know how Kelsey feels, but it's always fun to, you know, when you're playing next to someone and now you get to compete against them, and it's a fun match to be a part of, and I'm really excited to compete at a high level.
Yep. And Kelsey, anything to add?
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be exciting to play these teams and to just see, you know, where we are as a team and where we match up, and always fun to play people, you know.
Yep. I know you guys have been uber focused on the USA side, but I learned from speaking to Karch yesterday that some of the full lineups were not even there. And it should start ramping up these last few weeks as we get closer to the semifinals, or the knockout round is what it's called. So looking forward to seeing you ladies play these upcoming weeks. I mean, actually looking forward to every week, but I appreciate you taking the time today. I know you have such a tight schedule, and, you know, just getting the ladies out there and getting the backers for USA.